All right, you guys, Jesus Christ, I've had the hardest time trying to record, from trying to find the right app to trying to use my phone to my laptop to just trying everything. It's been so difficult. I think I'm just gonna eventually have to buy a camera and tripod and just try to go as professional as I can, but it's just been very difficult. Like the video essay that I'm giving you today, I've done like maybe 4 times, so I should be pretty good at it. I'm gonna try to take my time and slow down. So thank you for tuning in. This is the Nutty Professor, and this is again an introduction to myself. These videos are going to just be people who I admire, or who I really think have just made an impact on society, be it positive or negative, or however you may view. The first two people that I mentioned were Neely Fuller and Dr. David Duke. The next person I'm going to mention is very important because of the political climate we're in right now, and that is President Donald Trump. For 8 years during the Obama administration, we had to hear how President Obama was, a Muslim. He was not from the United States, mainly from Trump. But how we had to hear how he was a Muslim, he was not from the United States, and we had to accept him, and we had to support him, and we had to, he had to be our president all 8 years. At least me, I did not let anyone at all say, hey, Obama is not the president of the United States, or he's not the rightful president of the United States. And I will not let anyone say the same thing about President Trump. I will not let anyone say that he is not the president of the United States, and he's not the rightful president of the United States. People, they voted for him, and he became the president. I am not a conservative. I am not a, Republican. I did not vote for him. I do not like him. I believe he is a racist, and I know for sure he is a white supremacist. So with all that aside, I still admire President Trump. Not only was he able to win the election, but he was also to gather enormous support from his base. And his base, is they're called the quiet base, because they don't show up on polls. They don't, they're not there for calls. You can't interview them, but they're there. And those are the people that got him elected, not this bullshit Russia, Putin, bots, whatever the fuck the media is talking about. I don't even care about all that. It was Trump. He got himself elected president. And I truly admire the fact that how he was able to you know win without any support of the RNC, of the mainstream media, of no one at all. I mean, no, he did not have the support of anyone. He definitely did not have the support of me at all. I detest him then, and I still detest him now. He's still a loathable person. You know, Although he is my president, I want him to be the best president, in history. I do. I don't have much expectations for him, but I still want him to be the best president. There's a lot of criticism about Donald Trump, but for all the criticism, he does put up. He told the people from the NFL he wants them to stop kneeling on the field, and he also told them that if you send me a list of people, I will consider pardoning them. Ever since he said that, there has been crickets from the NFL. There has been mysteriously no more protests, but there also hasn't been any type of coming together with Trump on any type of pardoning. And that's where our black elites have failed us. Failed us during the Obama administration and during the Trump administration. They failed us throughout history, but they definitely failed us now by the fact that they're afraid to go to Trump. Trump only thing Trump has to do to get them to shut up is to say, "Come to me and talk," and you'll find all of our congressional black caucus to shut the fuck up, Maxine Waters to shut the fuck up, every Democrat, Pelosi, everybody will shut up as long as he say, "Come to me and talk," and that's exactly what the NFL players did. And so I admire Trump. Like I said, I do not agree with him, and I do not, I don't think he's, I don't think he's, a great role model, but I do think he's very admirable. Um, this series is gonna have, compare and contrast. So they're going to be, some people are quite opposites. So the next person I'm going to go into is Dr. Ron Paul. I'm not really a libertarian. I don't really necessarily, you know, uh, um, agree with everything that Dr. Paul says. I do suspect him to be a racist, as well as suspecting Trump to be a racist, and I definitely suspect Ron Paul as being a white supremacist as well. Because let's face it, I've never seen any black people on the Liberty Report, and there are no black people in Trump's administration besides Carson and a couple speckled here and there. But I still admire Dr. Paul. When we're at a time when there's absolutely no peace talks at all as far as international war are concerned, there's always Dr. Paul and his son Rand Paul who will always be the pacifists that we need right now when there are zero pacifists at all. Not with the Democrats, not with the Republicans, not with anyone. Everything is just built on this war industrial complex, this military industrial complex, this defense industry complex. It's just there are no voices out there. So I definitely tune into the Liberty Report, and I definitely listen to Dr. Paul because he is always a steady voice. Now, I don't agree with everything of libertarianism, but I do believe that, for example, a black male preacher who opens a Christian music store, should not have to have transvestites and transsexuals into their music store. I think that black owner should be at liberty. Now, with that being said, that also means that a Christian baker is at liberty to not bake a cake for a homosexual marriage. That also means that a white racist is also at liberty not to have black people in his store. That also means that black people are not at liberty to have to hire white people. So maybe things will start becoming a little bit more tribal, and from those tribes, family businesses start building up, and the community can start supporting those family businesses. I don't know, but I do believe that at the heart of libertarianism, I agree with some of the tenets. One of the main tenets of libertarianism that I do not agree with is small government. You know, Mixed descendants of enslaved West Africans here in the United States have always benefited from large governments, from Reconstruction, post-slavery, when there was actual senators and congressmen who were former slaves who were elected into Senate. That was because of big government. That was because of the Freeman's Bill, and that was because of the Union soldiers actually in Atlanta, Georgia, actually in these places. And so, I definitely don't agree with that part. I think, I think whenever, government is supporting a large majority of the little middle class that Black America does have, I'm definitely not in favor of small government. You know, I am in favor of reducing the size of government. I am in favor of reducing the Department of Defense. I am in favor of reducing the prison industrial complex. But as far as just reducing government, I'm not sure if I'm completely in favor of that. And so just kind of getting back on track. The point of this series and the point of these introductory video essays, before I start talking about, current events, and I start talking about, political affairs that are happening right now, I really just kind of want you guys to kind of understand the person that I am. But I also want to challenge you guys to be what I call fence straddlers. It's okay not to be on one side or not to be on the other side. It's okay to not be a Democrat or not be a Republican. It's okay to not be this or not to be that. It's okay to be a fence straddler. It's okay to always look at both sides of it. Agree with a little bit on this side, agree with a little bit on that side. Agree with the Republicans, agree with the Democrats, agree with the this, agree, it's I think that's where we should be at. We're at a point where everything is completely divided, and I don't think it's right. And so thank you guys so much for tuning in. You know, I will try to link my previous video, my one and only YouTube video. I will try to link that into the next into this into the description, so that you guys can check that one out. And thank you guys for tuning in.